Leadership role. Loopy and Matchin, you've been basically selected because we believe that you have potential, and so do the people standing around you at the moment. That's why you're here. Just because you complete the JNCO course doesn't mean you're necessarily getting promoted right away, but we'll probably find a place for you. But that's the reason why we selected you. Okay, so that's why you're here. I'll hand over to the Major, who will probably have some things to say.
Yeah, so the course is designed, it's going to be around 4 or 5 weeks spread out, depending on how much we go over. It's going to be every Monday or every Saturday. It's to be confirmed at the moment, but the first one's today. It's going to take around 2 hours-ish to get through the first bit, and we're going to go about 10 pages into the document. It's 44 pages altogether. So it's pretty much cover the essentials of a JNCO role, right? So Lance Corporal role, and expanding and revising your knowledge on various subjects. It'll take place pretty much, again, either every Monday, 7 o'clock, or every Saturday. I think we said 3 o'clock, if I'm correct. So some of them will have tests allocated to them to make sure that you remember them. Most of the things that you'll do will have tests, so just try and pay attention. We're not going to make it drag along for ages. It'll just be 2 hours each time, and then hopefully by the end, when you do your final exercise, you should be all perfectly fine. Before we start, has anybody got any questions or any concerns? Good. Right then, so, content. Before I hand over again, I think, oh wait, no, I'm doing the first bit. So there is about 10 to 12 different things to go over. First one is navigation. So, through the navigation phase, we're going to teach you lads what, if you don't already know it, because I know some of you have already gone through the LandNav course, but this is in here just as a refresher and to make sure you can actually do it correctly. So, different types of maps. First one, we're going to go onto your map, just press M, and you've got your map. Alright, so zooming into the training grounds, if you just zoom into this area here. Now, hold left click and it'll give you a little yellow circle mouse thingy. And this is pretty much You can use this. Everyone can see it. Everyone on the side can see it. It's really helpful. I don't know what these yellow roads are. Okay, so they're main roads. So if you... Right, yeah, MSR, main road, anything like that. Not exactly all the time MSRs. Like, for example... Well, let's see if I can find a good example here.
That one's probably more of an MSR than others.
Yeah, so bigger roads, like longer roads, things that go in and out of places are mainly MSRs. Right, distances. So your distances on a map. Zoom all the way out until you can't zoom out anymore. Anyone know what kind of distance just a single 0 to 1 is?
It's a kilometre, isn't it?
Nope, someone said 10k. So 10 kilometers is 2-figure grid references. So if you zoom in even more, just a little bit more, you got your 4-figure grid references. That's when it becomes 1k.
Yeah.
So example, within point here, so point A to point B, that is 1 kilometer. So you're walking or whatever 1 kilometer straight across. Obviously, same goes for down. Diagonal can be different sometimes, but most time it's about 1k. Right, contours. Do you know how to use contours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Refresher wouldn't hurt.
Okay, right, zoom in to... Let's have a look if we can find it. This is quite a flat area. But...
There's lots of single ones, but there isn't many.
It's a very flat map.
Right, zoom in to... here. Right, do you know what 6-figure grid reference spacing is? So...
100 meters.
100 meters. Yeah. So, right, contour lines. Pretty much the further out the way they are, so the further away they are from each other, the more flat the ground is. So, example, if you zoom in quite far, right here on grid 015058, if you zoom in pretty far, you'll start to see more contour lines. Obviously, the further you zoom out, the less you'll see. Pretty much, if you obviously looking at it from an aerial view, it looks pretty fat, but if you get a little closer, it'll start going downhill. What it looks like, I think it's going downhill a little bit, but not too much. So pretty much the closer they are, the more steep the hill is. So, example, I don't think there's any steep areas, but pretty much the more steep the hill is, the closer the contour lines will be together. So 6-figure grid references are probably the most common ones that you'll use throughout when you're calling in things or when you're trying to find somewhere, etc, etc. Zoom in a little bit until you've got 3 numbers right at the top. Let me know once you've got that.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so you got 3 numbers at the top, you got 3 numbers on the side, left or right, top or bottom. You always take the bottom or top number first. So in this case, if you go down to 015 from the top or bottom, doesn't matter. So you should be looking at 015 at the moment, and that is pretty much the line that just goes straight down, and that is classed as 015. Now, from the left or the right, you always work upwards. So, for example, if you want to go to 015068, you just go down to 015 until you get to 068, so which is right here if you can see where I'm marking. You always work inwards, which is where you guys are circling out, so you just go in, and then you've got your grid 015068 here. Alright, just zoom in that grid until you can see it right on your screen. This is going to be as best as I can make it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Same again. Just ignore these, are not straight. I know. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just use the map tools.
It doesn't show 8-figure.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You just gotta
Yes, it
estimate.
does.
No, it doesn't show 8. It doesn't show 8. Right. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Happy days. Right. So this is your 8-figure grid reference. Bit wonky, but it will work. You'll never get a accurate one unless you're extremely good at map reading. But
No, this is bollocks. Use the map tool.
are you sure?
Yes, to show 8 figures.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
No, so get your map tool out.
My map tool doesn't work on it.
Have you got it?
Yeah,
Have you got the normal one out? Or the small one?
the small one.
Yeah, you got it?
Yes.
So put it in the top right hand corner.
Oh, you do it like that. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean now.
Help that much. You're best off just guessing because that thing is so fuzzy you can't even see the lines.
No,
For me,
it's
I'll
absolutely
show you
fine.
texture.
Right, we'll use the map tool. We'll use the map tool then. So if you open up your map tool, your small one, just go into your map, press Control Windows, go to Map Tools, show you small map tool, and you can, if you align it with 0, 0, so it's in the top right hand corner of the grid reference. Now, in between 0 and 1 on each side, there should be 10 kind of dots or lines. Sorry. Each of them is pretty much another number. So this, can I please type? 1, 2, 3. Let's do 1 to 5, 4, and 5 there, and then same along the top. So if I wanted to go to the center of this grid reference, so if I want to go to the center of 015068, you're looking at 015, so that's your 6-figure. So 015, and then you need to add the 8-figure on. So 0155, 0155, and 0685. So 0685, just like that. And that's pretty much your center. You'll never get it exact, but that's roughly about the center of that grid reference. So if you can go into that grid and just put a 8-figure grid reference anywhere in the area, just make sure it's in the 015068 grid.
Inside chat.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was putting it in the same spot. Fuck.
Oh, that is one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one. Wait.
I thought the last one was 9 for some reason then. Get fucked, Ben.
It is 9. That is 9.
Yeah, it's 9.
That's 9 because
Going up.
on your left it goes up. So 067 is below, and you got 068 and 069, etc.
It goes up, not down, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
it goes-
I genuinely can't tell, mate.
So you got the first half right. 0159 0681. Why is one of your last numbers wrong?
Oh, it's 9, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it extremely blurry for anyone else, those lines?
yeah.
Might just be that my texture's way too low, but like, look at the...
That potato rig.
0156 1 2 3 4 5 6.
So guys, what would you use 8-figure grid references for?
Precise
Molar.
locations.
Yeah.
For what exactly? What do
Oh,
you think?
like when you're in the town or something like that.
If there was a guy down in a certain building, maybe. And you have the
Wiseman had it.
Cassivac.
When you're trying to direct air into something, you need to be really, really precise. Or you're trying to blow something up.
He's gonna miss anyway.
He's gonna hit Loopy anyway.
I was gonna hit Martin, bro. He's gonna headbutt.
1 2 3 4 5 6 0159 0681. Happy days, right there, alright. Okay, cool. Get rid of them. Right then, bearings. So bearings are done in 3 figures. So your bearing always needs to be in 3 figures, whether you say it on the radio or if you just say it to a person. Right, ideally, you need to make sure 100% every single time you say a bearing, it has to be in 3 figures. Same goes with things such as timings. It has to be in 24-hour time instead of like 12 o'clock, etc. It has to be in 0600, for example, for 6 a.m. They're used for planning and construction of operational movements. So when you step off your section, say if you wanted to step off your section this way, sorry, that's a bad example. Let's do that way. If you wanted to head them that way, you're heading them bearing 020. So you always do it in 3 figures. So then, whenever you say it on a radio, it's a lot better, and you make sure you use it. It's a way of planning and conducting your operational movements. Right, pacing. Pacing of 100 meters. Alright, if you're just doing regular movement. On 50 meters during the jungle. It's important to keep your timing if unable to secure the location via other methods. So, if you open up your map tool, again, small map tool ideally, you can use this to figure out a distance. So if you was going through a forest or whatever, you can use this to work out the distance of how far you're traveling. You can also get the bearings from it. This is obviously only grid north, it's not true north. So if you were looking at grid north, obviously you can get that straight on your map tools, which is very helpful. I don't think this Arma 3 doesn't actually have true north or anything, it just goes off grid. So you can use your map tools to find out bearing, which is very useful if you need to tell somebody to head somewhere by using the map, i.e. if you are lost with half the other fire team, you can give a direction for the other fire team to move once you have their grid reference, etc. So it's a useful thing to use, your map tool. So if you zoom in to 025058, zoom to 025058, we want to be in this little compound right here. We're going to do a little scenario. So somebody is there and you want to tell this fire team to move to this crossroad here. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
Right, so what is the bearing of that line?
132, 132-ish.
130, 132, yeah, somewhere around there. Right. The longer distance you get, the more precise you have to be, or the more you have to check upon it, because if you're traveling a longer distance, gradually you'll get further away from your actual target if you give a incorrect bearing. So you have to be precise as possible. So it's better to just make sure it's right on the dot, and then I would say that's about 131, 132-ish. So yeah, that's on your short distance, so you won't have any problem with the difference. But if you're just going for a longer distance and in a terrain where it's quite jungly, etc., you need to try and give as best accurate one you can. Right, next one. From there up to the vehicle depot in the top right hand corner. If you was travelling to the vehicle depot, bearing would that be? And if somebody can tell what's the distance to the vehicle depot as well.
We have to bring up the other map tool. Or the 0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 0.
Yeah, I'll take 043.
Yeah, it's like 0435, but like either, I think. Yeah, I used the bigger map tool, and it's like literally between 43 and 043 and 044.
Right, so what we're saying?
Like 044, pretty much.
044. Right, let's see if...
And is it 2 kilometers?
I've just measured it. You're close, but that's not right. Yeah, I'm happy with 044. So 044, right, distance. You can use your map tool for your distance. You rotate it, control windows, and then you can rotate it. I believe you just click on align map tool to compass, and then you should be able to just, I believe you just move yourself, if I'm correct.
No, it's alt and then
Yeah,
you
you
click
hold
on
the alt and then you.
There you go. You hold alt and move it just like that. It was working for me earlier. Right, hold alt and you can move it. I got 2.8, so you're roughly traveling about 2.8 kilometers to the vehicle depot, bearing 044. So that is if you need to get somewhere from A to B without using a map or anything like that, then that's how you can get to that position, by using a compass, a map tool, sorry. Happy with that?
Yep.
Right, cool. Right then, so now you're going to be a little test for you. How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you 3 points from A to B to C. You've got to navigate how to get there from A to B, from B to C. Okay, and then all of you will finish at the same point. So your finishing point is going to be on this crossroad right here, where the flag is. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The Blockwell. We're going to start you up there. That's going to be your A.
I see us quite a while. I mean, hey.
You're not running. You're not running or anything like that.
Oh, we're just
Or
giving
is
you
this
the
just a
ref.
hypothetical?
I'll tell you in a second. Just let me finish.
Right, so.
Right, collar. You're there. Wiseman, let's do you down here. Is that all of you? And Loopy. Right, that's all of your A starting points. Right, Blockwell. Fact. Let's do Blockwell, that's your beat. Collar, that's your beat. Wiseman, that's yours. Loopy. Matching. Right. So you should all now have A and B. And then this is your C.
We can write this down somewhere.
Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Right. Point A to point B to point C and then to the finishing line. I need your bearing from A to B to C and then to your finishing line. So, for example, from point A to point B, what's the bearing? I need the distance. And I need the time of travel. So how long do you think it would take you? And then you need to make sure you can understand the map tools. So this is pretty much, if you get this right, then you should know how to use a map tool. Try not to use your GPS. Say again?
Have you taught them how to work out their pacing?
No, I haven't. They should be alright with that.
No.
Roughly, should be fine. Can you keep your lines in your group chat or vehicle chat so no one else can see them?
What's the one for a straight line? What shortcut is that?
Control Shift, drag left click.
Control Shift, okay.
Yeah, just you can leave yours there. You need from point A to point B to point C and then to your finish. So you should all end up on the point. You need your bearing, your distance, and your grid reference and your ETA. Make sure you do your information in the chat so we can all see it.
Is it right if I write it down on like a notepad and then like?
Yep. Ideally, you probably should have something you can write stuff down on when you're doing things like this. So when you get a briefing, then you can just write things down, i.e., especially for things like this, if you're trying to navigate to an area. Do you all know how to do pacing?
No.
No, right. I'm not sure on that one myself, so when Albertson gets back, he can help you out with that.
Easiest way to work it out is literally jog 100 meters. Time how long that's going to do. You take to do that. Obviously, when you've got a section, you do it as a section. You then multiply that by the distance travelled. Well, the distance required to travel. So let's say, for example, that it takes you 10 seconds to cover 100 meters.
Yeah.
For if you're traveling a kilometer, you'd multiply that by however much you want, or like 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm semi-AFK, by the way. I've got some work stuff to do, but when it's my part, just yell at me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
you say about 100 meters, like every 10 seconds?
Yeah. Roughly.
A meter turns a meter to 10 seconds. Did you say?
No, 100 meters to 10 seconds.
Wait a minute.
That's why I said if you run, if you open up, you press the right square bracket, yeah? You press the right square bracket, you get your GPS up and you got your grid lines on there, so you know how long 100 meters is. So you get yourself onto one of those lines, you run to the other line. You time yourself when you do that. You then know how long it takes you to do 100 meters. And technically speaking, you should do that for every type of patrolling that you do. So if you do a walking patrol, you need to know how long it's going to take you to do that. If you're doing jogging, if you're doing sprinting, etc., you should have a little notepad that tells you how long each one of those is for 100 meters. Yeah. Should be the same for all of you.
On your way back, do you want to do it walking as well? Right.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, do it with your weapons out and your weapon lowered and stuff like that. This is something you want to do in your section, because obviously if you have a GPMG gunner with you, he's probably going to be slowing down your section.
Normal map tool. Why is it? There we go.
So how long that take you?
Right, okay.
It's also important from a regard of a section commander or a troop commander point of view. If you sent your fire team out somewhere and they're not at a point when you're expecting them to be there, they could be dead somewhere. Or, you know, maybe they've got delayed and they haven't called over the radio. All of these things matter.
Blockwell, are you there? Where is he? Blockwell, need your 8-figure grid references of each point as well.
Roger.
Ooh, okay.
And then at the end, your overall distance you've travelled.
Wait, is that for just Blockwell?
Everyone. So all of you should have, if you look at Blockwell's,
Yeah.
exactly like that, except Blockwell just needs to add the grid references onto each point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one of my favourite parts of the JNCO because it's actually applicable to real life.
Yeah, it is.
It actually teaches you to read a map properly.
So when you guys go on patrol, make sure that you use this, because if you could use this when you're out on patrol, then you'll know exactly where you're going, we'll know exactly where you're going. And if anything happens, we'll know, aviation will know, everyone will know where you are, or where you last known were. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you just have a look at Loopy's A to B bearing?
Because on my map tool, 1 and 2 are like the same.
He's put 139, but to me that looks like...
Wait, where is it? Wait, black is
Black is A, and then yellow is B. So Loopy from black to yellow, I'd say that's 1, 4, 1.
That looks like, to me, that actually looks like.
Oh no, 136. Yeah, sorry, 136.
Yeah. What's he put?
139.
That's within 3 degrees.
Loopy,
Yeah.
136.
have a look at your A to B bearing.
Yeah.
You're off.
In what bearing?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, I've made a mistake. I've just seen that.
I think the mistake you're making, Loopy, is when you make your lines, make sure that your lines connect exactly to each point. Because if you look at your B to C point, that's off. So you make your lines exactly starting from there and then straight through. If you have to go through, doesn't matter. But make sure it matches and then you'll get a better bearing.
Alright, so just another quick one. So the 0, it goes down and across for grids, doesn't it? So it'll be down. It goes up from the bottom for a down reference, doesn't it?
Yeah, what?
What?
Have I done? Wait, what?
I'm having a bit of a moment with 8-figure references.
You go along the top or along the bottom, and then you go up from the side.
Right, so left would be 0.
Mark
right would be
on the map where you're trying to figure it out.
so
Like,
my
is it
A
that one?
marker Blockwell. So
That
I'm
one
thinking,
there.
yeah. So I'm thinking 0037 0806.
00804, I would say.
Yeah, it's up from the bottom, innit? Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
it's from the bottom. Because you're working up. The grid's going up the map.
So it's up. Right, yeah, because I did it from the top down. Right, okay.
What pace do you want?
Well,
me to do the
actually,
points?
Ayrton demoed that wrong when he demoed it to you, because he marked 2 here. Sorry. He marked 2 here earlier, when really this is 9.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Yeah. So you go.
Didn't realise.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah,
7, 8, and so on. Because you're working up from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
What pacing was it, sorry?
It was 30 seconds to 100 meters I got.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
got
like,
30
for
seconds
what are we
jogging.
doing, running or?
No,
Jogging.
jogging, weapon lowered, I got 30 seconds to 100 meters.
Yep, same.
And then if you double that for walking pace, which is your normal pace,
I got closer to 70 for walking.
Do you want
There you
walking
go.
paces and all as well, or are you just fine for if we all did it in jogging?
we'll just do jogging pace for now as an example. But ideally, you want to do it in walking pace, because that's what you'll be mainly doing, well, expected to do when you're out patrolling.
Make sure you keep in notes of this because you will be tested on everything on the exercise.
He was on whispering then.
Says someone shouting.
Yeah, you have to give it a few seconds sometimes. Same again, to give it a minute.
Hello?
There you go.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Make sure you're making notes of all your pacings and everything on how to do this, because you will be tested on the exercise at the end of JNCA. So this will not be the only time that you're doing navigation. Blocker, I expect you to be fucking shit hot at this as well. Fucking Raph boy.
If we fucking do 20 minutes of it in a fucking classroom, piss off. We don't actually. We go in a group of 8 across a mountain. It's about 17 kilometers, and like each man leads for like, I don't know, fucking 20 minutes.
I thought you were gonna say you take an online course.
Hey, we do that for Loak and Sia now, so yeah.
Major, is my first bearing correct now?
Your first one? No.
How is
Think I've
mine
got-
looking?
It might be a bit off. Can't really distinguish the individual ones, but
How do you make the straight lines?
control
You
shift.
click
Control
Alt F4, Wiseman. Yeah, it's Control Shift and then draw a line as usual, and it'll make it dead straight. Who's
Is that
going
correct
from
now?
A to B in 4.75 minutes?
What?
Me, mate.
Oh, we want to put those down on there. I was gonna. Wait, are we doing? Oh, we're doing timings for each one as well.
You need a time for each one, and then a time that it'll take altogether to get to the final point.
It's down here.
Loopy.
Yeah.
You're... Okay, yeah. You just need to get your grid references.
Oh, that's what I've done.
And you need to look at your A to B again.
What bearing?
Oh, never mind. You're fine now.
I just put the grid references on top of the...
I'll accept 135 now. Yeah, just put your grid references close to your points. Wiseman 001.
Do you want total distance as well? Sorry.
Not your total distance, just your total time it would take you.
Was that time across the whole board?
Yeah.
I've got the distance and the time for all of them.
Would have been quicker to just run around with a pair of fucking rangefinders at this point.
User left your channel.
Is that everybody's points placed?
Hey, wake up.
I think I'm done.
Right, just double check them.
Oh,
Have you had a look at some of them? Are you working?
Working.
Okay. 8B. Yeah, that was okay.
Didn't know there was 75 seconds in a fucking minute. Jesus.
Where are you looking? Oh yeah, I see.
Loopy, have they reinvented time where you're from?
Don't give him clues. Loopy, check your... Where is it?
Why? 'Cause it's in decimal.
Check your A to B time.
Okay.
Check your B to C time. And your... Oh, that one's alright. Metal tanker, thank you. The thing about your times is make sure that your times are in minutes and seconds. Because 4.75 minutes. What's that? Is that 4 minutes and 75 seconds? Or
Yeah.
that? So it's 5 minutes 15 seconds then.
45. You mean?
Yeah.
Or is that the actual time, or is that not still correct?
No. So what was your time? 4.75, yeah?
Yeah.
So 75% of 60. 45. So you would have 4 minutes and 45 seconds. No. You get it? 8.1.
User joined your channel.
Yeah.
User left your channel.
So you got
User
8
joined your
minutes.
channel.
Point 1.
6 seconds.
What's your point 1?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
It'll be 6 seconds.
Wait, hang on.
I fucking
be 6
suck.
seconds.
Yeah, it might be 6 seconds.
Because you're doing it in decimal. So 0.1 is 10%. And what's 10% of 60?
You're on whispering.
It'll be 8 minutes 6 seconds, Sleepy. Because 0.1, where you had 8.1,
Yeah.
what's 10% of 60?
6.
Exactly. Because you're doing your times in decimal. Fucking maths lesson as well.
Yeah.
Oh, GCSE maths.
He's
I'm not
excused.
I'm not actually kidding you. I
Get that man down the learning centre.
You'll learn it.
It's not that difficult.
Right, has everybody got the scores?
Mm.
Have they got a final? Total 14 minutes. For Collar.
Yep.
35 minutes total for Wiseman.
Fucking Wiseman's taking
Hold
his
on, I'm
time.
adding mine up again.
Collar, yours. Oh,
I was
18. And just waiting for matching. And Loopy. Total time for Loopy 16.
I'm adding mine up again.
Mike just left.
What?
Mike just left.
Did he say anything?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No. Oh. What do you say?
Where did you put it?
General.
I did not think he was that old.
He's a dad of 5 kids. Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus.
He's been fucking busy.
I thought he was like 17 or something.
Yeah.
I knew he was a dad. I knew he was a dad. I just didn't know he had a 5.
Madman.
Genuinely thought he wasn't even 18 yet.
I thought he was the same age as me.
It could be.
He could
got
be.
on real busy.
What, he's got 5 kids.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
I'm gonna say, yeah. It's 2020.
High school, mind you, that's just Wales.
Nice.
They come out half sheep.
Yeah,
Oh
they came
yeah,
out a
Connor,
bar
I'm
in
just
me.
looking at your picture. It is blurry, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't tell shit.
Right, is that everyone in?
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck's sake. I fucked it up.
Match, any of you got a final time?
Yeah, I'm just jumping in. I wasn't here when you said it.
Okay.
Do you want to do that and I'll do my bit?
Your bit next, yeah?
Yeah. Or do you want to look through all of that and I'll carry on?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for finals to go.
Alright. Well, let me know.
Right. Good to go. Cool. Right, I'm going to look through this while you lot carry on. And I'll get back to you. Once he's done that, once he's gone over the next part, 1 or 2 of you can just tell me or go through your whole thing. So, where you're going, etc. Just 1 or 2 of you go through. Ideally, the people who want to be corporals. And go through your whole route, where you're going, how you're getting there, etc. Right.
So what do you want? Like just a walkthrough from A to B to C to destination?
Yep. Not now, but when Albinson's finished.
So Blockwell should be shit hot because he's taken an online course. But we're going to go through lower.
Fuck off, you can jump straight to the assessment on it.
Alright. Operational law. I appreciate that you've done an online course, but some people don't know what they're doing with this. So,
No, it's fine, mate, go through it.
so combatants are defined as members of an organised armed forces, members of a
That's why we need an office for this type of crap. I'm going to take a look at this. Ugh.
members of levy.
Right, so I know this one's correct because I've already looked through this one. So, let's give him a good old green star. Loopy can get a yellow because I know he took the piss to take it. Right. Let me write this crap down. I'll get a notepad here. Ugh. Bloody hell. Righty ho, here we go.
Maybe carrying it for hunting purposes or sport purposes in another country where it's perfectly legal to do that doesn't necessarily mean that we can kill him because he has a rifle in his hand. Okay, the laws of other countries, we have to abide by them when we're operating in their territory. The civilians are allowed to carry rifles, they're allowed to carry rifles. It's another issue if they're pointing that rifle at you. If they've just got a rifle, you know, they could be out hunting, they could be going to somewhere to, I don't know, shoot some pigeons or some shit. Perfectly legal. Now, if you want to stop someone, you should be given a warning. Warning must be given before opening open fire. It's normally something stop or I fire, British Armed Forces stop, something along those lines. You don't have to give a warning if it would increase the risk of death or grave injury to you or other persons in your immediate vicinity. So if you shouting stop or I fire puts your oppo's life at risk or your life at risk, you shouldn't do it. Any questions on that? Okay. Self-defense has 3 key principles: honest belief, imminent threat to life, and necessary and reasonable force. So whenever you're planning or you're executing any kind of maneuver or an attack, these 3 principles must be kept in your mind when you're responding to threats. So you must honestly believe there is a threat to life. Obviously, there has to be an imminent threat to life as well, and you have to be responding with necessary and reasonable force to stop that threat. Now, that could be disabling someone, or it could be killing them. But it has to be. If you've got some guy trying to ram you with a car, that is an imminent threat to life. However, you could argue that the response would be to shoot the engine block, not necessarily the driver. It depends on the situation. If it's a combatant, you could potentially shoot the driver, or if it's a known civilian, you could shoot the engine block. Because you don't know whether or not that driver has lost control of the vehicle or not. Yeah? Any questions? Speak to me, guys.
You could shoot tires as well, right?
Yeah. You can
Because
shoot
my
tires.
556 might not stop an engine.
You'd be surprised.
Exactly. Yeah. In Arma it will.
But hitting the tyre, could that not make them swerve into someone else?
That's why you go for the engine block generally.
That's why you go for the engine block, don't you? Yeah, I'll block myself.
In an ideal world, it's the engine block. I.e., if they're side on though, then you go for the tyres because you might not be able to get the engine from your angle or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all about what you can see and the scenario dictates it. It's what is it? It's making sure it's one above, innit, the rule.
Yeah, it's one above. So it's not in the document, but I'll also go over Card Alpha. Card Alpha generally gives you the... Card Alpha is a little bit like a sort of get out jail free card. That's what a lot of people look at it as. However, it allows you to take preemptive action if you honestly believe that there is an immediate threat to life. Now, a situation where Card Alpha would come into play would be you have a civilian running at you, and you honestly believe that they have a suicide vest of some sort. Now, you could then, take their life in honest belief that you thought your life was in danger. Because if they were to reach you, the immediate threat to life or imminent threat to life increases. That threat is every meter they're taking a step towards fire and line of fire. So there is instances where you could shoot someone who is apparently unarmed. You can't see something, but their actions are suspicious that you honestly believe that there is a threat to life. And you could say, I fired and my actions were guided by Card Alpha. Because I believe
if they're running at you screaming Allahu Akbar.
Yeah. I'd shoot the gun. I'm not lying, I'd shoot him.
At the same time, though, it's not it isn't a get out of jail free card.
A lot of people think it is. It isn't. If it turns out they didn't have shit on them, you could be in the shit. Now, I'm talking more sort of real life than Arma, obviously, but like, if it turns out that they were trying to run to you for help because someone had mugged them or they found some Taliban and then you just shot them, like, you're going to be in the shit because you've just taken an innocent person's life.
Or if someone had a S-vest forced upon them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that would come under, if they had a suicide vest on them, it would come under needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, so you'd fucking put them down.
Yeah. If they come running towards you because they're shitting themselves, at the end of the day, they could take out 8+ people. If they're running towards your section, or you too, they could do a lot of damage. Fair enough, they're in a shit position because they've had an S-bed clamped to them and probably padlocked on.
Hurt locker.
Yeah. Like, they're in a shit position.
The best example of it I can think of is have any of you played through the new COD campaign?
Yeah, I played that.
Where at the end of the London level, they throw the guy over the balcony because he's got a suicide vest padlocked on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few in that scenario.
We do operate lower in the campaigns to some degree. We don't expect you to go out fucking just blasting bandits left, right, and centre because they look a bit dodgy. You know, you need to be thinking that I think this person's out to kill me. I think this person's here to hurt my section, my oppos. You know, those kind of things. You need to be thinking about that. You know, some guy just going about his business. You don't need to be killing him. Now, let's say that you've gone in, you've done a section attack. You're attacking a position, you're killing enemy combatants. Okay? You've gone through the site, you've cleared it out as best you can. You return back to a position after reorg to sweep the area. You spot an injured hostile that's still alive. What do you think you can do to him?
Give him medical aid.
You got to give him first aid, don't you? Yeah. Unless he's actively trying to kill you or is a threat to human life.
Yeah, if he's armed, then obviously different. But if he doesn't have his weapon on him anymore, then I guess.
Yeah, there was not long ago. There was
have his weapon on him. He could still have his weapon on him.
As long as he's not actively pointing that weapon at you or firing at you, he is to be considered an enemy combatant. Well, he's an enemy combatant, but you can't shoot him essentially.
Well, there was something a few years ago, wasn't there, about the Royal Marines that come across the injured Taliban on the helmet cam, and I think they executed him.
Yeah, but he was terminally wounded, wasn't he, as
yeah,
well?
Yeah.
He was terminally wounded, and they went, oh, well, let's put him out of his misery, and shot him.
But it didn't help the fact that they turned around and said, if this was one of us, they wouldn't hesitate. But still, I reckon they've done the right thing.
Yeah, if he was terminally wounded, then yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of things that we probably all do. However, the law states that you can't do it. Technically speaking, it comes under captured persons, like captured person handling, like POW type thing. So I'm actually going to go over that a little bit later on, but it kind of ties in nicely with this. Give me a minute. Because that is literally all the operational law that we do. The capturing person handling CPERS. Oh, this has a drill and everything. Can't be asked for that. We'll cover it at a later stage, but basically captured persons handling is you have to give them first aid. Right, that's one of the things that we have to do. So if they're injured, we have to get them treatment ASAP. You have to treat them like one of your fellow soldiers. If they're shot in the leg, you have to give them the same treatment, same level of care. Food, water. They need food and water. You can't starve or dehydrate them on purpose, anything like that. Can't do that. You have to treat them with respect as well. You can't just sit there calling them names, throwing racial abuse at them. Can't do anything like that. You also cannot put them in what's called stress positions. So you can't leave them handcuffs, like leave them against the wall over there. It's not allowed. It's considered a type of torture to do that. So they have to be obviously taken to a secure facility or into a secure area. You have to remove cuffs or ties off their wrists. They have to be able to move around freely within that area. Food and water made available to them, and medical care made available to them as well. Obviously, during the times that you're giving them food and water and medical care, extra care should be taken whether or not they're trying to sneak something, like a knife, syringes, things like that, where they could potentially harm you or harm themselves. They could be trying to kill themselves. Because they could have information that we're trying to extract out of them. They know that, and they could just want the easy way out. So extra care should be taken during those times. There's also protocoling about searches and things like that, but we'll go over that in more detail when we do it as a full module. As such to protect yourself. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Any questions on operational law?
Nope.
Now that you know it, it will come up more in operations. Over to you.
Happy day. Oh god, my voice. Ugh. Alright, cool. Give it a second. Is that better?
Yep.
Right, cool. For some reason it takes a time when it changes. Right then, who's comfortable with telling me their route?
I'll fucking give it a go, why not?
Alright.
I'll get it right.
So, how it works is there's a grading system, alright, and it goes from 1 to 4. 4 being the best, 1 being the worst. Pretty much. You've all been graded, but obviously if you want to give it a go of this, kind of speaking it out as you would, to your troop commander, etc., then now's your chance. So, Blockwell, go ahead.
So, just before I actually could deliver this, how do you want it done? I'm assuming we're beelining it to the objectives. We're not going, I'd head down this route and this route because it's better cover or whatever.
So the route you've chosen, so from point A straight to point B to point C to point to your Abbey.
So I'd do you want it as if we called it in over the radio or just as if we're speaking to you in person?
Yeah, so I'm your troop commander. Alright, I've told you to make a route to the FRV on that crossroad, and then now you're telling me the route which you've made. In person.
Right, okay. So our current grid is 0037 0804. We are going to be heading 2.07 kilometers at bearing 114. This is going to take approximately 10 minutes 23 seconds at the jogging weapons lowered speed. Obviously that would be Arma, not real life. Once we have arrived at marker Bravo, which is grid 02260718. We're going to be heading 0.93 kilometers at bearing 211, which is going to take us approximately 4 minutes and 42 seconds. When we get to marker Charlie, at grid 01790639, we are going to head bearing 131, approximately 0.8 kilometers. That'll take approximately 4 minutes, and then we will arrive at objective crossroads north of Imber training grounds.
Brilliant. Right, perfect. Is that good? Happy?
The only comment I'd make on that is if you were making that call over a radio, and I appreciate you not doing it over a radio.
Had a few breaks in and stuff like that.
Yeah, think about the 10-second rule. You shouldn't be transmitting over a radio longer than 10 seconds. So just remember, you're dumping all of this information onto someone where it's fairly fresh, and you've worked this all out, so you're fairly familiar with that information. The information you're dumping it on, the person you're dumping it onto, is not familiar with that information. So just give them a bit of a break.
Well, I'd probably give them a break between each point then. So I'd say the 8th figure, I'd say bearing, distance, time, and then I'd give them confirm you have received. Yeah. Or something along the lines of that.
So when you, did you all do Advanced 6? I know Collar has. Blocko, you haven't. Right, so in the Advanced 6 that we used to have, how it was done is when you say, give it a second. So for example, when you say to whoever you're talking to, instead of saying message over, you'd say long message over. And that gives them the indication that obviously you're about to send a long message, so you'll need a bit of time. And in between each break, you would say, Roger, so far, over. So then obviously they would then respond, etc. So then you can continue. So the idea is that you would say, one part of your message, and then Roger, so far, over, and continue after they have actually acknowledged it.
So you're expecting a Roger, over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you know that they've made the notes in their notepad or whatever it is that you're trying to dump on them.
Yeah. And then at the end, you do an acknowledgement. So, right at the end, once you're finished, acknowledge, over. And then obviously, if need be, they'll tell you reference, etc. But you'll get taught that later on.
You can go down the whole thing of like acknowledge grid, where they read it back and things like that. However, that's even more long-winded.
Yeah.
If it's taking me 10 seconds per grid there, so it's already, what, a 40-second transmission for me to read those 4 points out. If you're adding them, confirming it on, you're talking well over a minute just to confirm a fucking route.
The time in which you would get them to do readbacks of grids is, I'd say, if you're doing something critical, like a Kazavac, or you're doing Kaz.
Yeah.
Because you need them to make sure that they've got the right grid reference, so that they're sending medical aid or they're dropping ordnance on the right target.
Does anybody else want to give it a go? Righty-ho.
Just noticed a mistake in one of my grid references.
We're leaving advanced signals out, or we're going through it?
Leave it out.
Right, so that's on to target indication.
Well, there's only 20 minutes left, isn't there?
Okay, target indication. Right, if you could all grab 2 magazines out of there for me. This is a bit of a practical bit.
I take it we all passed the map thing then, by the fact they haven't said it.
You'll get told that right at the end of the course.
Yeah, I get it. The suspense.
You hear this?
I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just gonna go through it.
I guarantee you I fucked it.
Right. Where are we? Here.
It'd be more useful if you give them a grading for each module, because then they know what the areas in which they need to work on.
Yeah, that's what they'll get. That's what I've got on this piece of paper. So that I've got navigation as a heading, and then I've got this grading with like points of what they missed out, etc.
Yeah. So I what I'm on about is I'd probably give them that now. That grade now, because they know they know that they need to go away and work on the land nav.
Yeah, I'll do that right at the end of this session tonight then.
Yeah.
And then, just so we don't have to do it now. Right, we need a vehicle to get from here to the vehicle depot. In fact, how far is that? Yeah, from here to the vehicle depot. Or...
I don't even know where we are.
We're here.
We're
right here.
Oh, okay.
We just need a vehicle to get to the vehicle depot, or this area. But we'll just go to the vehicle depot because that's closer.
Right.
We'll grab one.
You're right to do it because I need to finish off with my work.
Right. Let's go grab a vehicle, and we're going to go down to the vehicle depot.
There is going to be a test on operational law, by the way. So there is a test on. Yeah, there is a grading for operational law. No.
Right. Go ahead. Get in.
Wait, what? An online course.
Oh God.
You get it even if you fail. No, you get So it's on the defense learn environment, and if you fail it, it tells you what questions you got wrong, but it also tells you the answers to them and repeats the same questions. So you just duplicate tab, do the test again, and you get it right.
Yeah, fucking Loak is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
No one else failed.
90% of the time, it is only shoot them if you're sure that they are a threat to human life or get you the correct answer.
Yeah, if they're pointing a gun at you, shoot the gun.
They've got a gun on you, you're pointing a gun at them.
Well, it's one up. You're shooting them if they're pointing a gun at you.
If their gun's on their back, your gun is out but lowered. If their gun is out and lowered, your gun is pointed at them. If their gun is pointed at you, you're shooting them.
Yeah.
Or you call cats in and hope they don't fucking
Because
miss and blow you up.
Gas and get you fucking a battery just raise fucking hellfire.
Then if you get shot again, it's good old, what's it called? Fucking broken arrow.
Alright, here I'll do. Hop out. Let's see. Just create a semicircle around here.
AFK.
Yep. Okay, take a knee, gents. So this is part 5 on the target indication and fire control orders. So, you guys are a section, okay? Pretty much, what we're going to do is go over just, not a section attack, but the first stages of events that will happen if you take contact. So the first thing, obviously, you take fire from a position, and then you conduct your RTR. After this, any member of the section or group might issue a target indication. Pretty much, it's used to guide members onto a target to maximize fire and end the firefight faster. So, for example, if you guys get into an extended line, or if you act like you've taken contact from somewhere to the north, all right, so use these trees as cover, etc., etc., and you can't see them, but let's say they're towards the north in those trees over there. Right, so you took contact.
Fire at them and just like...
No, that's just... No, just get into some position that you would be in if you took contact from there.
Right, I'm guessing this thing doesn't exist, but I'll
Yeah.
get behind.
So, you're all in the position, you're all laying there, right? You're firing. Now this is where your target indication comes in. So like I said, any member of the section might issue this. You can encourage it by literally just saying, has anybody seen the enemy? Has anybody seen the enemy? Etc. Alright, if you can't see the enemy, just say it. Has anybody seen the enemy? This is where the target indication will come in. So if you just come back in. So your target indication is contact. Alright, how many infantry or whatever it is. This is optional. So you just say contact. Then you give a range, a rough estimate of a range. So from here to that wall is probably about 200 meters. And then you give a reference point. So for us, I'd probably say contact 200 meters, far left hand side of the compound. And then maybe I would say, that'll be about it. And then I'd say right of the hay bales. Okay, that is probably a target indication. So, again, contact, 1 times infantry, 200 meters, left side of the HESCO, right hand side of the hay bales. Forgot the name of it there. Obviously, just like that. So, it can be broken down. So, this is target indication broken down. You've got alert, so contact, used to grab the attention of all of your nearby people. What actually is it? So it gives you an idea to your nearby people what you're looking at, or if they're in sure initial contact rounds. So if it's if you guys are sat here shooting and you think it's just an infantry and there's a bloody technical row around the corner. Range, rough range to the target, avoids people looking too far or too close to the contact and can immediately grasp a closer location. Your reference point, this is probably the most important thing. Anything to reference around the target, but that's only if it's available. So sometimes it might not be available. So if you see a contact right in this field, there's not really a reference point. You just have to give a rough direction. It can be used, the reference point, to narrow the field of vision needed to acquire the target. Right, so it can be replaced with centre wood block, front ridge for example. A reference point might not always be available to you. And the final point is adjust. So rear left corner. So if you notice that your section is shooting, say, by that silo, then you can adjust them by saying, if he was on that corner there, I would say maybe bottom left corner of the HESCO. Right? So that's pretty much giving further information to assist in acquiring the target. So that's one kind of target indication that you can use. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So another method or further methods you can use, target marking. So use of things like IR strobes or IR lasers, thermal sights, thermal imaging cameras, all that type of stuff. Arcs of fire. Do you know what arcs of fire are? No?
Pretty much the rough direction that someone is able to fire in.
So if, for example, if we patrol around this area often, alright, and we've created an arc of fire, so if you look on your map, so if we are here, and if we've created an arc of fire, like that, and then if we've named that, right, arc of fire, say Bravo, Charlie, whatever, then obviously you know it's in this area. But that's a bit more unnecessary at the moment, because we're in an area where we don't know. Direct method, this is another way. So things like left or right slightly, quarter, half, 3 knuckle left, alright, 3 knuckles left, etc. Or a reference point, just like we talked about before. So things like a White House, double story barracks, top left window, whatever. Next, clock ray. Anybody know what clock ray is? Kind of in.
Times on an analog clock, roughly.
Yeah, exactly. So 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever. So pretty much like a clock. If you hold O, you open up the clock or the watch, and obviously you've got things like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, etc. They have to be They have to be looking in the same direction for that to work, though. Obviously, if you're all looking, if I'm looking this way and I say 12 o'clock, then for you guys that's like, where it can be anywhere, wherever the hell you're looking, pretty much. So you need to be looking in the roughly same direction for that to work. A final one is tracer. So you see the enemy, but nobody else can see it. It's dark. Simply say you contact. So contact 1 times infantry, 200 meters. Watch my tracer. Okay. So if I'm shooting, shoot the tracer, and that should give them a rough idea. You need to make sure you include a direction in there, sorry. But most of the time, if someone's shooting at you, you'll know where you're getting shot from. Which is why it's not really important to give the direction when you're given a target indication, because you have a rough idea of where you're getting shot from already, because you should have done your RTR before you give the indication. Right, does everybody understand target indications?
Yep.
Right, brilliant.
Yep.
Let's do a little demo then, if you just want to hop onto the road. And Loopy, you're going to be IC.
Yep.
Matching, you're going to be 2 IC. Get into an order of match, if you know it. Loopy, try and take the order of match.
I'll go point, man.
We're all fucking riflemen.
We're all gonna hop on a radio freak to make this a bit easier.
None of this will be said on the radio.
Right, Roger.
So you just use your voice, try and get it out there. Step off whenever you're ready, and make sure if you've got mags on you, just reload your mag in. And then, do you want to play enemy? I know you don't have a gun, but if you hide somewhere and then pop up or whatever, are you busy?
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Where should you go in that field or something? Yeah, I was about to. If you go somewhere where there's cover, and then
Yeah.
I'll say contact direction, and then they should RTR towards you, and then if you just pop out or something after a few shots have been fired, and then hope one of them see you, I guess. Oh, shit.
Or scream or something.
Yeah.
Like we get in the same group so that we can.
We're on the same one.
We're all in the same
User
group
left
other
your
than you.
channel.
Okay. You left me out.
Hell, that's because you're a one section.
Step off when you're ready.
Stepping off.
User joined your channel.
Paper here.
Radio check.
Check. They're just stopping off right now.
I'm gonna go behind one of the hay bales.
Okay. Anywhere left or right? Well, left.
Last man stepping off.
Let me know when you're ready.
I think they saw me. But yeah, ready.
Yeah,
Ready whenever you are.
Contact left.
Eyes on, anyone got eyes on?
Hay bale, bearing 005, 1 times enemy hostile.
Right, deliberate fire, boys.
Approximately 30 meters in front.
Right, wait. Contact infantry. About 30 meters. Hay bale bearing 020. Right, listen, we got contact infantry. About 30 meters behind the hay bale. From here, I would say 025.
Hold fire, hold fire.
Hold fire, hold fire, hold fire, hold fire, hold fire.
Stop, stop, stop.
Stop, stop, stop.
Right, come back in. Right, lads. So, decent. Just remember, if you're trying to use your voice, you need to be closer. Right? You need to roughly be in your fire teams, buddy teams, together, so you're not so far away from each other. If you're too far away from each other, you're not going to be able to hear each other. You know, just like that, Loopy had to run over to, I think it was whoever's on this side, to actually be able to talk to them. So watch your spacing, make sure you don't get too far away, because you need to be able to hear each other. Somebody did say, I think it was Loopy, that was trying to find it. Good. Right, good command. Make sure you keep that. It goes for everybody when you're trying to command your section. Talk to them when you're in a firefight. Right, you need to try and find the enemy as quickly as possible after you've done your RTR.
The whole point of that exercise is to not have radios to test communication and all.
Yeah. Right, let's try that one more time. Did you see Albinson before you guys even stepped off? No.
I heard someone say contact left.
Okay. Right. Let's try it with radios this time. Use radios for only purpose of it being a radio. You should know how to use a radio. You should know how to properly use it, not to scream down it, etc. So if you go up on a frequency and only use it when necessary and when you think you need to use it. But ideally none of that should be over radio. You should use your voice to get it over to each other. Do you have a gun on you? You might. Can you grab one through Zeus and just put a BFA and stuff on it real quick?
Can't select myself in Zeus.
Stand by. Arsenal next to you.
Get them to travel southwest up the road, by the way.
Yeah, I can see you. There's an Arsenal right next to you. Right, switch it up. Matching, you're going to be IC. Wiseman, you're going to be 2 IC. And you're stepping off southwest. Get yourselves in prepared. Let's give Loopy a 2. Rockwell, right.
Right, are we ready?
Let me know when you're done with it.
Right, ready? Step off and ready. Stepping off.
They stepped off. You can't fucking hear me.
Spacing, what is this?
Radio check.
Yep, all good. I've stepped off. They're on the way down the road now.
Around the hay bale, 100 meters
fire whenever.
You've been spotted. Yeah, when you're ready. You've been spotted though.
Approximate bearing is 265. Contact right, contact right.
Yeah, whoever's at the back looks the same.
Anyone got a visual?
No visual. Negative.
Visual. Bearing 280. 1 times infantry, I would say about 150 meters. Just in front of the massive electric pylon.
Deliberate fire west.
Magazine. Back in.
Hold fire.
Stop, stop, stop.
Stop, stop, stop.
Stop, stop, stop.
Watch and shoot west.
When Loopy gave up the call out, did anybody see him when Loopy gave the call out?
I saw him before the engagement happened, but no, not after the call out.
Someone did call out his bearing, and was that you? Yeah, I did.
So, Loopy, that tells you something. You need to try and get a bit better.
Yeah.
So, what was he doing? You need to give an as accurate as possible in the quickest time. So, if you saw him, what was he doing?
Shooting at us.
Was he laying prone? Was he crouched? Was he crawling? Was he running towards you?
He was standing up.
Okay.
I don't think the angle of the field helps in this situation because
It's ICU's choice of what he does with the section.
I would fall back to the trees directly behind us so that we can crouch and look over the grass, in my opinion.
Armed individual approaching west. Reference electricity line.
Are you dead, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, he's dead, boys. Okay, come back in over here.
Are we mags out?
Yeah. Right, so that's a perfect example of most of the time why it's quite hard to find or give a good target indication. Because most of the time, you can't actually see him unless you're in a good angle. So, matching, something you could have done there is move the section. Either advance forward or peel left, peel right, whatever you feel necessary. Obviously, you haven't been taught that, so I wasn't looking for that. But decent. Just remember, right, use your voices. It's not too soon to try and find the enemy. Once you've done your RTR and you're in a position where you feel safe and where you feel like you're in cover, try and get out. Does anybody see the enemy? Have anyone see him? Right, as many times as it takes until someone says, I see him. Because what you're doing is you're putting it in their heads that, you know, they have to try and find him. And they're not just on a simple fire control order, just shooting towards a general direction. Somebody is looking, whether it be everyone or your marksman or whatever. Someone is looking for him. Because you'll always get them people that'll just sit there and listen to you lads and just wait until the fire control order's taken out. They'll do their RTR, go on rapid fire and then wait, right? They're not actually looking for the enemy. So make sure you get it out there. Has anybody seen the enemy? Etc. Wiseman said it, but then someone spoke over him and then he didn't say it for a bit. If you feel like you haven't been heard, say it again. Right? Make sure you get it out there. Okay, last thing before we end tonight's session. Fire control orders. So, fire control order is one which brings controlled effective fire down on the enemy and takes them by surprise. It's essential that soldiers and you lads know the meaning of the terms used in a fire control order, and you can decide quickly on the best type of fire control order to be used for each particular situation. So it's given in a definite sequence. Okay, you can use the mnemonic GRIT, which will help you remember it. So the group being... Oh, let me get you an arsenal. I just remembered, sorry. Group, indicating who's been addressed. Section, fire team, buddy team, etc. The range to the target, estimate. We don't expect to pull out a rangefinder. Indication, which direction to look and what to look for. So that kind of links in to the target indication. And then finally the type of fire. So deliberate, rapid, or watch and shoot. Do you get that, everyone?
Yep.
Right, so grit, group, range, indication, and type of fire. Just try and write as much down as you can. Right, 5 basic fire control orders to cater for battle situations. So there's 5 different types you can use in order to give out a fire control order. So the first one, full fire control order. So this is only given if there is a sufficient time. So if you are not being actively pushed to or being surrounded or whatever, and it's just a simple, you're firing at them, they're firing at you across a field, and you can say, if your section's there and you're fighting, you can drop back to a position where you can assess the scene. This is when you could give a full fire control order. So, example, Charlie fire team, 300 meters, ruined house, bottom left corner, rapid fire. Okay, that is a full fire control order. A brief fire control order. This is when there's little time and the target's absolutely obvious. So if you guys are in a line here and the target is literally by that truck, alright, pretty obvious. This way you can give a brief fire control order. So, for example, section northeast rapid fire, alright, so simple as that. Section northeast rapid fire. Right, pretty easy, right in front of your face, and I can't miss it. So this one, delayed rapid fire. This is used when the movement of friendly forces or of the enemy are known or can be guessed. So, i.e. things like ambushes. The order fire is delayed until the right moment. So each fire control order must end with the word fire. Alright, so after you've said delayed, rapid, or whatever, once you say fire, that's when they start firing. So delayed, example, Charlie fire team, 200 meters, half right, prominent gap in hedgerow, rapid, await my order. Okay? Once you tell them to fire, then they fire on the area that you told them to fire on. Fourth one, individual. This is used when it's impractical for the commander to control the time to open fire. So he passes the responsibility to the individuals concerned. So, for example, if I was trying to tell the rifleman, so number 1 or 2 riflemen, 200 meters, slightly left, farm building, enemy in the area, watch and shoot. Or, for example, GPMG, 200 meters, slightly left, farm buildings, enemy in that area, rapid fire. Alright, so ideally, you can talk to a specific person or a specific role. Final one, tracer. Back linking to the different types of target indication. Tracer. Tracers might be used to indicate an extremely difficult target or to indicate a target to a tank. Okay, 300 meters, watch this tracer, where it hits, enemy. Right, that is pretty much a tracer. Tracer's not used as much because, well, where we don't use tracers that much because obviously you can be seen, etc. But tracers are useful if you're trying to guide in things like armored assets or air, aviation, etc. So there are your 5 basic types of fire control orders for each battle situation. So we're going to quickly go over each one. Each of you are going to give a fire control order. There's 5 of you and there's 5 fire control orders. So we'll start off with Loopy. Just give any one of your choice and then tell me which one it is. So you need to say it and then tell me which one he said.
Okay, hold on. Okay, do I just say like randomly, like you or whatever?
Yep.
Okay,
Just randomly.
Blockwell, we got a contact, 080, last spotted behind silo, watch and shoot, watch and shoot.
Okay, so remember, you're talking to a group of people. So it's, you're not talking to Blockwell, you're talking to your section. So instead of saying Blockwell, say section and know what you're going to say before you say it. Okay, remember what Albinson said about the 10 seconds on a radio. You want to get out swiftly but braked as quick as possible. Alright, so try again.
Okay, section. Fuck, I don't even know. Hold on. Alright, let me write this down real quick. Alright, section, contact, 1 rifleman, 080, watch and shoot, watch and shoot.
Okay, so that was a mixture of a target indication and a fire control order. So, remember grit. So, group, then range, then indication, then type of fire. Right?
Indication, yep.
Try again. The group, range.
What does grit stand for again?
Group, range, indication, type of fire.
Okay. Charlie team, 200 meters, indication would be the electric pylon, watch and shoot, watch and shoot.
Okay, not bad. Got there in the end. Alright, matching. Can you wait, before that, can you tell me what type of fire control order you said?
Individual order.
Individual. Nope, you was talking to your section, and that was... You included everything. So what was that? There you go. Alright, so... Merchant.
Section contact. Range 200 meters, bearing 101. Await my order. Fire.
Okay. Brilliant. So, what was that one?
Delayed.
Perfect.
What I like to do for individual stuff, by the way, is not necessarily say the person's name, but you'd say like Charlie 1, Charlie 2. So if Blockwell's playing the point man, he'd be Charlie 1. And then Loopy, you'd be Charlie 2, because you're the IC. And then Matchin would be Delta 2, because he's the 2 IC. So on and so forth.
I think that is later on, I believe, in the...
Is it? No,
I think it's in 6 section battle drills. I've seen it somewhere. Right, who's next? Collar.
Charlie, 200 meters front, rapid fire. That's it. It's brief.
Okay, so you don't need to give a range in a brief. So a brief is literally section, front, rapid fire, if that was the case. So you don't need to give a range because your brief is literally if the target is less than 50 meters and you can literally see him. There's nothing obstructing him. It's right in front of your face. You can't miss him. So there's no point in giving a range, alright?
Yeah.
Don't want to get onto semantics, but your fire should be, I don't know, more determinative, if you know what I mean, because fire is the end of the order, and people, the way that you say it, rapid fire, is as if you were going to continue on the conversation. But if you say rapid fire, like it's the end of the sentence, you're asking them to do something.
Yeah. So the way that it's broken down is you do it so it's in parts, so the grit is in parts. So you do the group. So for example, if I was noticing for Charlie Fire Team, alright, so Charlie Fire Team, 300 meters, ruined house, bottom left corner, rapid fire. Okay, so you break it up so that it's understandable for you and they can understand it. Because if you just do it super quick, then, you know, most time people won't understand it, especially if you're in a firefight.
When you're, basically when you're saying the word fire is when they carry out the order.
Okay, Blockwell.
Section 500 meters, electric pole east, deliberate fire.
Okay, which one was that?
They're full.
We've had that one. So what we've got left is we've got Tracer and Individual left.
Alright, okay then. Section 600 meters, east, tree line, watch my tracer.
Okay, brilliant. So the thing you forgot at the end, once you've said watch your tracer, okay, where it hits enemy or where it hits fire. Okay?
Alright, roger.
remember that the fire is you're asking the section, the group you're targeting the order at is the pro word to carry out the order.
Yeah.
Okay, Wiseman.
Alpha 2, 150 meters, bearing 025, left of building, suppressive fire.
Okay. And that was a individual, obviously. Yeah. What did you say to him?
You just called him a dickhead.
Oh.
He said the power transmission pole, and I said pylon.
No, not pylon. Or actually, technically, they're power transmission towers.
Nerd. Alright, that's that. Cool. I'm happy with that, Albinson.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Right, we're going to get you back. Go for it, sorry.
Just need to be a bit more determinative on the fire.
Yeah.
Like, when you go into section training and you're training your guys, make sure that they know that the trigger word to carry out the order is fire. So that way you haven't got a bunch of guys shooting willy-nilly all over the place. You're a bit more organised. The trouble is, if you haven't got your guys understanding how to carry out the fire control order, you could be in a position where they just start firing and you could be trying to set up an ambush or something, and if you got some dickhead just firing off his weapon, that ruins your plans. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well said. So I think the only thing as well is just remember to break it up. So slow it down for some of you. Because it's going to be, if you can't say slow now, then I can't imagine what you're going to be like when you're getting shots flying over your head and stuff. Just remember to stay slow and steady so they can understand it over the radio. You might be able to understand it, but you got to try and make sure everybody within your section or whoever you're trying to contact can understand exactly what you're saying.
As well, I've dropped some water, by the way. Both of you. If you're panicking, like all of you guys trying to give out your orders, panicking over the radio, or like, oh shit, there's a guy there, rapid fire, you know, something like that, your section's going to be panicking, and that's just going to trickle down. But if you're methodical in the way that you give your orders and consistent, then you're calm, they're able to execute what they're meant to execute properly and in a calm fashion. It's all about controlling the level of aggression as well. I know that we're going off on a bit of a tangent here, but you need to be able to spike that aggression up really fucking high when you need it, and then it needs to come back down. So controlling that spike of aggression is key. So sometimes you need guys kicking in doors and just fucking lighting guys up. The other time you need them talking to civilians in a calm manner. Now the way that you lead will control that, because it's a trickle down effect. If you're panicking, they're panicking. If you're calm, they're calm.
Yeah, so the best way that I can probably say, if you give out a fire control audit, try and memorize CLAP. C-L-A-P. So make sure it's clear, loud, as an order, and with pauses. So clear, loud, as an order, and with pauses. If you do it that way, then you should have no problems. Right, I think that'll do it for tonight. We're about... How many pages are we through? Right, we're on to page 11. So, next Monday... Or... Can I just check if you guys are available on Saturdays at 3 o'clock? Just stand up if you're available.
Maybe. I think so.
You think so?
I don't tend to know until a couple of hours before it, but right now I don't see a problem with it.
Right. So as of now, Wednesday. Okay. The only reason is because I start working soon. Well, on Wednesday I start my new work, and it restricts my time. Right. Okay. Thank you. Right. So next week we'll go on to patrolling, types of patrolling, etc.
Are you happy all to do it if we schedule it in this Saturday then?
Yeah, I can do this one.
Brilliant.
Saturday 3 o'clock for 2 hours, yeah?
Yep.
Right, decent, yeah, should be alright.
How far did we get? Did we get a good amount done?
We're on 11 pages out of 44.
So we're a quarter of the way,
pretty
yeah,
much
not
bang
too
on.
bad.
Yeah. Need to go through advanced signals. I know some of you have done signals before, but we're going through it again.
I think the signal training used to be harder because it was kind of
Yours
bad last
does.
time.
Your signal's fucking shocking, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But it's also because every time I call something
You panic.
I can't move, and then it freezes my computer for a few seconds, so...
What about the computer then?
Right, your scores for the navigation and all what you did tonight then. So, as again, it's scored between how you kind of act and how it kind of flows, really, and, you know, how much of a leader you are. Goes from 1 to 4, 4 being the best. So, in your navigation, okay, Blockwell, you got 4, so you was exceptional. Correct, you got no exception, you got no corrections from any of us. Loopy, you got 2, which means you're at the standard, but you did get corrected a few times. You gave time your decimal, but you did use really good pro words, which is nice. Matching 2 as well. You had to correct it yourself with the decimal time. Colour coordination could be a little bit better, but overall that was perfectly fine. Wiseman, same as Blockwell, 4. Correct with no corrections, anything like that. Collar, you got a 3. Collar, you got 3 because of your pro words and your organisation. You could, instead of put Fin, ideally RP, RV, FRV, etc. Things that are used more commonly and that everybody will know, instead of just yourself. Right? 3.
Okay, well done, mate.
So all of you didn't, no issues with your navigation. Everyone did perfectly fine. Right, target indication. Loopy, you got a 2. So you Loopy again, you was at standard, but you need to get your voice out a bit more. You need to be more clear and more control over your section. So make sure that you give the orders out, okay? There's no point having a section if you don't know how to control them. Matching, you got 2 as well, pretty much the same as Loopy. Okay, you did have control over them though. So matching, you did have good control. Blockwell, you wasn't really a leader, but you also got a 2. You had your head on a swivel most of the time, and you was keeping an eye out for your section, not just thinking about yourself, which is good. Collar, 2, good control, no issues at all, just pretty much as the only problem we had was just the same as Loopy really. Everyone was really the same as Loopy, just need a bit more voice on you and, you know, moving yourself and your section into better positions. Wiseman didn't get anything for you because I didn't see you have much of a leadership position apart from the last one. But I didn't get anything from you, so you got away with that one. Right, your fire control orders. Loopy, you got a 1, obviously. I think you saw that one come in. You could have been a bit more on that one. You got it wrong quite a few times and you're very stuttery. So definitely work on your fire control orders. If you type fire control orders up on Google, you'll see the whole thing. Matching, 3, did good. Nothing really else down for that. Collar, 2, bit quick. Just be a bit slower next time. I think that was already mentioned by Albinson. Blockwell, you got 3. It was good. You didn't stutter. Perfectly fine. Just got the first bit wrong. You said a full instead of a... What did you do? Tracer? Yeah.
I forgot to say fire after tracer.
Yeah. Which is why I got 3. Oh, no, I've written 2, sorry. So you got 2 because you forgot to say that. There we go.
2's a pass, right?
Yep, it's pass. It's at the standard. So you got a 1. 1 is below standard. 2 is at standard. 3 is above standard. And 4 is exceptional. Wiseman, 3. He was good. Right, you had really good order. It was really well done. Target indication. You used what Albinson said about the Charlie and Alpha. Very nice. Well, that is your stuff for your fire control orders. So it's Loopy, just try and revise your fire control orders a bit.
If it isn't a kick in the teeth, if you got 2, 1 or 2, it isn't like go and cut yourself because you're shit. These are areas that you need to improve. Because like I said, you will be tested. All of this will be tested as well, you know, to pass the JNCO. These like little gradings going forward are giving you indications of where you need to work on, like where you need to try and brush up on a bit. Yeah. So we're not saying you're shit. It's just, hey, look at this. You need to improve in this area. Okay.
Yeah. Ultimately, we're trying to get you to the final exercise. So that's where you'll be like properly tested on your whole thing. So everything you learn over these next few weeks is all coming into your final exercise. We did something similar to this. I can't remember what we did though.
What?
We've done something similar to this before. I can't remember.
Sure.
Was it?
Sure.
No, there's something else. I can't remember what it was. Right, we'll get you in the vehicle, get you back. Actually, I was teleport. I can't be bothered driving back. And then you are good to log off for the night. But like Albinson said, you know, it's not exactly the end of the world if you've got a 1 or a 2. But if it comes consistently, keep getting 1s and everything, then obviously we'll have a chat with you and everything like that to see if the right choice and everything. But you lot are the chosen ones.
The thing is, like Maxin and Loopy, I'm expecting slightly lower results from you guys because you haven't been in that leadership position. You haven't been exposed to it. Whereas Collar, Wiseman and Blockwell have already been in lead of a section. So, you know, I'm not expecting you to shine like fucking bright stars out there. So I think you're doing very well at the moment for where you are. So, well done both of you.
I'd like to see Leon attempt this.
Oh, jeez.
Do you know what? You laugh. He's
getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Right then, I'm going to switch mission file, and that's pretty much good.
I spent 5 minutes getting out my fucking Enigma machine.
Just be careful what you're saying, because both of us are streaming.
I didn't stream in the end because.
Ah, right, okay. Right, yeah. So happy for Saturday at 3 o'clock. Probably won't do an announcement for it. So if you can, just try and be there for 3 o'clock. There might be an announcement, but maybe not. We'll see if we can test you on the timing.
It might be a case that we do this 2 times a week just to get you guys through it. Like if you're happy doing it 2 times a week, Mondays and Saturdays, and get through this, it's more commitment from you guys. That's the only thing I'd say. But if you want to do it 2 times a week.
Mondays are fine by me, Saturdays might be an issue now and again.
Right.
But I can't foresee a problem with this Saturday so far.
Happy days.
At the end of the day, I'm trying to get those A's off you.
Yeah, but as soon as I fucking lose this, I'm going to get another one and lose an L out on my name, so what's the fucking point? Like, you know?
Because it's a better A.
L.
A for effort. You get another A for effort. There you go.
And then you've got to go through the SCDC.
Yeah.
SCBC is easier when you've done this.
Yeah, piece of piss. Piece of piss.
How do you... Right, so you know the tag, JNCO, Cadre or Cad, whatever the fuck it is. How the fuck do you say
Cadre.
that C word?
Cadre.
Cadre.
User left your channel. User joined your channel. Channel switched. User left your channel. Channel switched. Channel switched.
Harder, I thought it was at one point.
Oh yeah, I say Carter.
Why can't they just call it a junior management leadership course like the fucking